Okay, that lady over there.
Sir, I'm very happy that you brought up the issue of fake encounters in Gujarat. There was a fake encounter in Kashmir, it's called Pathribal, and the CBI established that it was a fake encounter. It was premeditated, cold-blooded murder. But why did the UPA government not give prosecution under AFSPA to prosecute
the
them?
Defense Ministry has to answer.
No,
Sir, but you have been speaking for Congress all along. Sir, you can't dodge that question. You've been speaking for Congress all along.
Everybody knows the facts of the Pathribal incident.
Rahul, you are Antaryami, yaar.
Sir, you are much bigger than Antaryami.
No. I accept my ignorance when I am ignorant.
That's convenient.
I don't know the facts.
Very convenient.
I don't know the facts.
Hello, sir. Sir, I want to ask, are elections the solution of Kashmir issue? And in case if you win, what initiatives you are going to take to resolve the Kashmir issue?
Well, you know, this is a very complex issue. Madam, you know that the Kashmir issue is up and burning. We have a very interesting statement by 3 leaders of the BJP on 370. One leader said, no, we are comfortable with 370, if the people are comfortable. Another leader said, we should have a debate on 370. And the third leader said, we should scrap 370. This is one party who talked in 3 different voices on 370 itself. So if this is the kind of complexity about Article 370, you will understand what complex issues there are involved on the Kashmir front. We've tried very hard backtrack diplomacy. All that we have tried. And at some stage, there were some issues. But I don't think that I can give you an answer as to how to solve the Kashmir problem. I think the nation and leaders of political parties, leaders of political parties can come together, and maybe you should give a solution which you think is the right solution.
I mean, every Kashmiri who is residing in Kashmir, he wants to revoke the AFSPA. So what will you do when you will be in the power? What will you do to revoke the AFSPA?
I said we have had a debate within our party. Some ministers have been wanting to revoke it. Other ministers, the army is against revoking it. Again, you are asking me my view. These are very complex. Rahul, don't ask me my personal views. These are views that impact the future of the nation. I should not be airing my personal views on the subject. Governments must decide, the nation must decide, and even we must take into confidence the opposition. Because this involves dealing with an area which is perhaps the most sensitive within the country.
Okay.
And we can't be asking personal opinions of A, B, and C so that you make headlines tomorrow and headlines today.
Okay, that gentleman over there.
Sir, 3 decades ago, almost 4,000 persons were burnt alive in Delhi, and none of the top culprits have met with their fate. May I ask from you that while criticizing Modi for Gujarat, do you think the term apology is enough to cool the sentiments here in Delhi?
Let me now make a distinction between the two. I think both were monumental tragedies. And I think our Prime Minister and Mrs. Gandhi has also apologized to the nation. You say apology is not enough. Yeah. I'm responding to you. Now, prosecution has been launched against all who you think were involved in those riots. That has resulted in acquittals in court, right up to the highest court. Now fresh prosecutions are being launched and the matters are under trial. Those decisions have not yet been rendered.
After 3 decades.
That doesn't matter, but
Modi
they are under
says
trial.
the same thing.
They are under trial, right? And there's no decision. On the other hand, you look at Gujarat, right? As far as Gujarat is concerned, nobody has ever apologized. Nobody has ever apologized. Not only that, Mr. Modi has never even gone to those camps. Mr. Modi has never even met the members of the victims of that family. Rajiv Gandhi on 31st of October, when the tragedy took place, went on air. And what did he say? That it would be a tragedy for this country if violence is allowed to erupt in any part of this country. He went on air on Doordarshan. What did Modi do in contrast? He said every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Okay. The gentleman there, Pawan.
I have a question. India is also sad because 5.1 billion bits of data were taken out right under our nose by the NSA as per the Snowden revelations. Cyber security, by and large, has been a tragedy in the last few years. India has been attacked, but our response mechanisms have not been particularly well equipped to deal with it. As a politician, what do you say to other politicians? How can you all unite together so as to ensure that the cyber security of our country is paramount and that our sovereign interests in cyberspace do not get compromised?
I couldn't agree with you more. That is why we have already enunciated a policy on cyber security. In fact, ours is one of the few countries in the world who has a policy framework on that. And in fact, we have segregated defense security from civilian security, segregated defense from civilian security. We have a whole emergency system working. We're analyzing data that flows in on a daily basis. We also have international cooperation. I've met with my American counterparts and other counterparts of the rest of the world, including the Japanese minister who came recently. And we are, in fact, not only have an international program, but we are training people for dealing with this issue of security almost on a daily basis in a war footing. And we are expecting 2,500 doctorates on a yearly basis in cyber security.
But let
by
me ask you a
2020.
direct question. If China or the United States or Pakistan were to launch a cyber war against India, as the IT minister, do you think you'd be able to take them down or deal with
There's
them?
a war going on every day, and we have been able to deal with it.
Do we lose that war? Do we win that war?
We win the war.